From Prince Harry's royal efforts in Africa to the first possible mass extinction since the dinosaurs, this is Trending Tuesday. Number 8. Up in the air. How would you like to spend 10 months out of every year constantly traveling in the air? Scientists have found that the common swift spends over 99% of its time during those 10 months up in the air. They only touch ground for 2 months of breeding season. The fact that they never land for 10 months suggests the birds sleep on the wing, but researchers still aren't clear about that. It is known that the bird's accumulated flight distance is equivalent to 7 round-trip journeys to the moon. Did you know the common swift is the fastest bird recorded in level flight? Peregrine falcons are faster when diving, but the common swift is the fastest bird that flies under its own power. Number 7. A new species of millipede was discovered that truly is bizarre enough to give you nightmares. The creature has 414 legs, the second highest number of legs found in the animal kingdom. This new species was found in a cave in California in 2006 and is very small, only 2 centimeters long. In addition to those hundreds of legs, it has strange-looking mouth parts, the function of which are unknown. Its body is covered in long silk hairs and has nozzles that secrete an unidentified substance, although researchers believe it's some sort of defensive poison. And, lest we forget, 4 of the male's legs are modified for use as genitalia, as if the creature were not disturbing enough already. Number 6. Scientists in Spain reported that they found what is perhaps the first ever 2-headed shark embryo growing in the lab. While 2-headed sharks have been seen before in species that give birth to live young, this is the first time the trait has been exhibited in a shark that lays eggs. Experts think the discovery could help untangle the mystery of dicephaly, or the phenomenon of animals born with 2 heads. This shark was one of nearly 800 embryos intended for use in studying the cardiovascular system. Number 5. Did you know the world's oldest manatee set a Guinness World Record last week? Snooty was the first manatee born in captivity back in 1948. He now lives at the Parker Manatee Aquarium in Bradenton, Florida. At 68, Snooty is recognized by Guinness as the oldest manatee in captivity. He'll appear in their 2017 edition. You can see him at home in these pictures from Guinness. Compare what he looked like back in 1959 with how he looks today. He's obviously aged pretty well, right? Snooty's longevity is attributed in part to the fact that he lives in a controlled environment. In the wild, manatees are vulnerable to boat strikes, fishing debris, and algae blooms. Number 4. A baby lemur was unveiled to the world for the first time since it was born last July. You can take a look at the cuddly creature in these pictures by Rob Cousins. The strange-looking animals are considered bad luck symbols in the native Madagascar, and unfortunately, that's led to the animals being killed on sight. They're known for the bulging eyes, big ears, and rodent-like teeth. Despite that bizarre look, they are primates related to chimps, apes, and humans. Do they look like anyone you know? Number 3. On a previous segment of Trending Tuesday, we reported on the apparent death of Australia's Great Barrier Reef. While we hope those reports turn out to be premature, if not untrue, a news story concerning the iconic reef has surfaced. More corals are said to be dying, while others are falling victim to disease and predators. Corals in the northern third of the 2,300-kilometer reef off of Queensland are said to have died as a result of unprecedented bleaching as temperatures rose earlier in 2016. The World Heritage Site previously experienced mass bleaching in 1998 and 2002. Bleaching takes place when corals expel tiny photosynthetic algae, which drains the color. This is usually caused when abnormal environmental conditions, such as warmer sea temperatures, occur. You can see in the pictures just how hard the area has been hit. The reef's northern section runs around 700 kilometers, and it suffered the worst of the bleaching earlier in the year. The southern area suffered some light bleaching, but remained in good condition. According to government reports, however, it is still threatened by development, farming runoff, coral-eating starfish, and the impact of climate change. Number 2. A royal effort. Did you know Prince Harry spent part of his summer in southern Africa? He was working on one of the world's biggest conservation projects to move hundreds of elephants to a new sanctuary. Some 500 of the big beasts were scheduled to be taken over 350 kilometers to a wildlife reserve where they'll be able to breed and restore their numbers. The prince took part in the first phase of that translocation, helping to resettle 261 elephants. He also released a number of photos that depicted his efforts while he spent months with anti-poaching teams in Africa. Some of the pictures show the royal volunteer spray painting a mark onto a tranquilized young male elephant. Now, that practice is done to easily identify the animals when they're released back into the wild, and the spray does disappear after a few days. He can also be seen holding onto a rope as a bull elephant tries to free itself. Now, the prince is known as a devoted conservationist, and he took the opportunity to call for a balance of numbers between elephants and the available habitat. Number 1. Extinction event. Conservationists, including the World Wildlife Fund and the Zoological Society of London, said that humans had wiped out so many animals that we are on the verge of the first mass extinction since the age of dinosaurs. It's estimated that by the end of this decade, 7 out of every 10 of the Earth's fish, mammals, reptiles, birds, and amphibians will have gone extinct. Some of the most threatened species include giant pandas, mountain gorillas, tigers, and African elephants. Elements affecting wildlife include farming, overfishing, deforestation, poaching, the ditching of waste plastic, and air pollution. Behaviors that also affect us humans. If there's any good news from the studies, it's that these are still declines in animal populations, not outright extinctions. But some species are close to becoming extinct. After years of overhunting, the Amur leopard population now numbers only around 70 individuals. Experts tell us it's possible to reverse this trend, but it'll take governments, businesses, and individuals to reconsider how we consume, produce, and value our natural environment. Do you think we're up to the challenge?